Folks, listen up. I have the excerpts here from a video that I want you to hear. You have to hear this. It has gone viral out there on social media. Saturday afternoon, a young female Bernie Sanders supporter named Chelsea posted a video on her Facebook page. She had spent the day calling voters in the SEC primary states, encouraging them to vote for Bernie. And this video runs about 6 minutes. I'm going to play the whole thing here. It runs about 6 minutes. She's in tears. She's fighting back tears. She's wiping tears from her face. She's devastated in this. She wanted to recount her experiences for everybody to know just how horrible it is out there and what she encountered personally making phone calls for Crazy Bernie on Saturday. So here's the first soundbite, about a minute long. And remember, if you hear things that sound like she's crying, she is. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hit it.
Hi, Facebook. It's Chelsea. So today I hosted a phone bank for Bernie Sanders, and we were calling the states, like a lot of the Deep South states, for Super Tuesday. And I've never gotten emotional over politics before, and I'm still learning, and I think it's really important. But I think it's really important that everyone knows that the people that we called, many of them, unsurprisingly, were voting for Trump, and I just want you to know that the people that are voting for him are really sick people that refer to human beings as animals. And it actually made me sick. It was really disheartening. And I don't think anyone that's a human that has feelings and sense can sit through hours of talking to people that believe that just because you weren't born in the United States, or even if you were and you're not white, which I don't know what qualifies you as white anymore, it makes you not a human being. There were a lot of comments about just building walls and getting rid of the Mexicans, and I'm hearing that for hours was so horrible. And it was really, really nice when you would get people that answered that were for Bernie or even Hillary. There were very few Republicans and conservatives that would answer the phone and be kind, that wouldn't have something horrible to say.
So what do you think so far of this thing? I looked at the video, she appears to be in her young 20s, early 20s. What do you think? Do you think this is real? Do you think it's representative of young people today who when they encounter people highly opinionated, or that they crumble and are reduced to tears? Or is this all a giant scam, an actress, if you will, designed to actually send the message out? She's just calling for Bernie and Hillary, and these mean conservatives are making her cry with all this racism and bigotry. She's shocked. She is brought to tears, doesn't quite know how to deal with it. There's one more clip from it, and we will get to it after this. Okay, here's the final bite with young Chelsea, the female Bernie Sanders supporter making phone calls for Bernie. The SEC primary, shocked and brought to tears by what she heard on the other end of the phone. She was reduced to such a quivering mass that she admitted she doesn't even know what it means to be white anymore. And she was disgusted by what people were saying to her about Mexicans and whatever else. She was reduced to tears. Here's the final soundbite.
So, if you're not politically involved, that's fine. But I think that you should know what's going on. People are actually saying disgusting things like this, and it's real. And I couldn't type it out because it was so horrible. And that's that. It was really interesting. It's still a really magnificent thing to do, to be involved, but it was really hard. And it was not at all like calling the other states and calling Nevada. And, you know, these are people that think that they won the Civil War.
There is a little bit more to the video, but Resh is going to integrate it in what he says here, and that'll be the whole video's content right there. And by the way, this is Adam at Trump Nation.
Aha!
It's like talking to less than a brick wall. I don't even know how to describe it. So this is just coming from someone who did some phone banking on Saturday.
Right.
Have a good night.
Good night. All right, so there we get to it. These are the people that she was upset by. People who think they won the Civil War. It was like talking to less than a brick wall. And they happen to be Trump supporters, according to young Chelsea. So I just wanted you to hear that, because that video has gone viral out there. Now, Cookie was so worried that I would be accused of making fun of Chelsea, the young woman in the video we played earlier, brought to tears by what mean things or people were saying to her. Let me tell you what I think. I think that thing's a hoax. You know, I've never phone banked, but the one thing phone bank is to get out your own vote. What is she doing calling Trump people? She's making phone calls for Bernie Sanders. The SEC call people you know that are already donating, or you know they're going to vote. You want to get them out to vote. You're not calling to change anybody's mind here. You're getting out to vote. What's she doing calling Trump people? I'm suspicious of that whole thing, particularly how quickly it went viral. Nah. No, I'm telling you, I think the Chelsea video is a hoax. It was too cliched. It fits every stereotype too perfectly. Young girl, millennial, in politics, trying to make a difference, trying to help people, trying to be, really involved. And she's making phone calls for Bernie, because we love Bernie, we love socialism. And then out of the blue, she ends up talking to Trump voters. She's working a Bernie Sanders phone bank, and we all know that's to get out the vote. That's not calling people to argue with them or change their mind. It's just get out the vote. And she's talking ends up talking to Trump people who are so mean. And it made me cry. They're Mexicans, and they're animals, and these are white people, and I don't even know what it means to be white anymore. Starts crying about that. And then these people, they still think they won the Civil War. It's like talking to less than a brick wall. It's way just when I heard it's like talking to people who still won the Civil War. She's not old enough to know what the Civil War is, and there's no question she's probably not been accurately taught about the Civil War anyway. So I think the whole thing, it's too pat. It's gone viral too fast, and I think it's designed. A typical Democrat trick to portray, in this words of this innocent young flower of a Sanders supporter, not yet pollinated, how mean and vicious out there. And then there's this, folks. You see the report in the Hill.com over the weekend, a Bernie supporter. A Bernie Sanders supporter was investigated by the Secret Service for trying to post an obituary in the newspaper for Hillary. That's right. February 20th, the Hill.com Clinton obituary notice prompts Secret Service report. A man who appears to be a Bernie Sanders supporter has been reported to the Secret Service after trying to leave an obituary notice for Hillary Clinton in a Nevada newspaper. The man, who identified himself as Don Schubert, filed the obit Friday with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. The newspaper reported the notice listed Clinton's date of death as Saturday, the day of the Nevada Democrat caucuses. He was asked to leave the building, was later reported to the Secret Service by the newspaper, the Review-Journal. And get this, it turns out that the guy who did this hosts Bernie Sanders phone banks, just like our young flower, Chelsea, hosts Bernie Sanders phone banks. The official Sanders campaign website also lists Don Schubert's house in Long Beach, California, as a volunteer phone bank site. So here's this guy running a Bernie phone bank, and actually posted an obituary for Hillary Clinton. You gotta love it. But I'm just saying, it looks like some dirty tricks are coming out of the Sanders camp, folks. And the dirty tricks are aimed at Hillary and also at Trump. Well, and the Republicans, the conservatives in general. And if I'm wrong, if her video is genuine and if everything she says happened, and she was minding her own business, calling Bernie supporters, and some of them started shouting at her about Mexicans and the Civil War and reduced her to tears, then, well, we're very, very sorry for that. It's very, very sad. Really very sad that happened. I'm sorry she had such a rude awakening to the political system in America. I know it's not what they learned in kindergarten, and it's got to be. Oh yeah, these people were worse than animals. They were worse than animals, and I don't know what it means to be white anymore. What does that mean? I don't know what it means to be white. That's not something a Bernie supporter would say. And if somebody's running around talking like that, it's going to be from an entirely different demographic group. Anyway, I just wanted to be on record as thinking, to me, it sounds like a hoax. I could be wrong, but it sounds just too pat.